Have you ever wondered if you've lived before or will live again? Are you curious about what happens to your soul after you die? Or maybe you've met someone you're sure you've known before. Or maybe you're just wondering if you have talents, skills, and experiences from a prior life that could help you now. Hi, I'm Brownell Landrum, author of the upcoming We Meet Again trilogy, and I'd like to welcome you to the Life is a Trip podcast. Today's episode, A Story for America, written by James King and performed by Beth Beyer, offers one of the most powerful and profound messages we need in the world today. It's especially personal for me as the message will be echoed in part 2 of The End, A Love Story to the Universe. James, Beth, and I hope you enjoy.
Forgiveness. At last! And then came more softly, about time. The voice without sound had spoken again, and there I sat, shaking, refusing again to accept, for the moment, what I had, again, just experienced. It came to me, suddenly, that this wasn't the first time this had happened, and I realized I was looking back at a long string of silent violence, of putrid hatred bursting out when confronted with what I saw as senseless, cruel actions. God, how I hated bullies. He'd just destroyed a friend, again. A vicious, deliberate, cutting put-down, reducing my friend to a shaking blob of jelly. And I'd responded, as usual, not verbally, not physically. Just a massive, silent burst of hatred, shooting out from my throbbing head into the ether. Silently, I envisioned carrying out unspeakably vicious acts of torture on his also silently shrieking body. My visions appalled me, as it came to me that what I was doing to the bully in my mind was precisely what they had done to me all those centuries ago. The Pope's men had come with flags pompously fluttering and taken the town without any loss for them. Our friends lay dead, solid in the mud of what had been walls. The Catholic soldiers lined us up and cut off our ears, noses, and lips, blinding all but one. That one was left with one eye to lead the way. They formed us into a column, around 30 of us, though later it was said that there were 100. With men on horseback on either side, we were driven fumbling and screaming to the next town, the folk of which, when shown what had happened to us, surrendered without a sword being raised. All the good Christians were taken, beaten, raped, forced to eat their genitals, and then burned alive. We were forced to share their suffering, and when their murderers shouted abuse and set the flames on us, there were many good Christians who wondered where their God had been during the agony. The memories came blasting a path into my mind, showing me how I had kept them locked away in a special place, away from my knowledge, from my day-to-day awareness. But there they were, had been for centuries, unseen, but silently poking at my mind, along with others, some just as bad, just as shattering when brought out into the light of awareness. I was one of those back then, amidst the agony, who had flashes of doubt, but I had pretended not to accept them. But now, there they were, and how I shriveled with shame. The voice without sound said, "Now you know." But now you can finally see some of the levels of conscious awareness of which we speak. They are without number. Most you do not see until you do. They paused a long time and now you can start the path to forgiveness. Forgiveness? But how? How can I possibly forgive what they did? My mind shrieked out. Not them. We don't talk of them. You can't forgive them. They can only forgive themselves, they replied. You can only forgive yourself. Then you will forget your hatred. Myself, I howled. I was the one who suffered. It was me they tortured. You must accept what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is letting go of your reaction, your pain, your hatred. You must just let it all fall away until there is nothing left, until you arrive in a place where nothing at all happened, the place of peace. Then you will have finally reached a state of forgiveness. Then you will be free of it. Only then will you find what you're looking for. Jim King, April 19th, 2024.
James King, Beth Beyer, and the Life is a Trip group hope you enjoyed the story. James himself is not a medium as such, but has spent most of his life in close contact with spirit and has written several books published by Oaklea Press of Virginia. Should you have any questions concerning the content or James's experience of spirit, you can contact him at his email address in the show notes. Beth Beyer is an exceptionally talented spiritual hypnotherapist who can be found at renolifebetweenlives.com. The link is in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening. Hi, this is Brownell. For more of these transcendental tales, please join the Life is a Trip group on Facebook and check out my amusing and enlightening story entitled The End, which you can find on my website, brownelllandrum.com. That's BROWNELLLANDRUM.com. And please look for my upcoming novel trilogy entitled We Meet Again. It's a story about a famous couple reincarnated today to help solve a centuries-old mystery that will change the world.